Across the African savannah, one bird hunts like no other. It does not hunt from the sky, it hunts on foot, with legs built for a single, deadly purpose. This is the secretary bird, one of the tallest birds of prey on the continent, standing almost 4 feet from the ground to its crown. Long, crane-like legs carry it through the tall grass, while a crest of loose black feathers gives it the look of a clerk with quills tucked behind the ears, which is how it earned its unusual name. Its wingspan can stretch close to 7 feet, yet this bird spends most of its life walking, not flying, covering as many as 20 miles in a single day. But there is nothing gentle about the way it feeds. The secretary bird is a specialist snake hunter, and today the grass hides a dangerous meal. A puff adder slides low across the dry earth, silent and deadly, its body the color of dust and dead leaves. Above the grass, a tall shape moves closer, step by careful step. The bird's eyes are locked on the ground, scanning every shadow, every ripple in the grass. It has found its target. For a moment, both animals freeze. The snake lifts its head and coils, ready to strike. The bird spreads its broad wings wide, using them as a shield against the coming attack, and as a warning to the snake below. Then the fight begins. The snake lunges, fangs bared, aiming for the legs, the only part of the bird it can reach. The bird leaps back and answers with a strike of its own, a single stomping kick, faster than the eye can follow. Scientists who studied this kick found that it lands with a force many times the bird's own body weight, delivered in a fraction of a second, one of the fastest strikes recorded in any bird. Again and again, its powerful legs slam down, aimed with precision at the base of the skull, the one place a snake cannot defend. The snake twists and tries to escape, but there is nowhere left to run. It strikes again, missing by inches. The bird answers with another kick, then another, driving the snake back with every blow. Thick scales protect its legs from a lucky bite, giving it the confidence to press the attack again and again. Slowly, the snake's strength begins to fade. One more kick lands, and the battle is over. The secretary bird lifts its prize, tilts back its head, and swallows the snake whole. But snakes are only part of its diet. Across the open grassland, it also hunts lizards, rodents, insects, and even small birds, walking for miles every single day in search of food. Grass fires that sweep across the savannah are, strangely, welcome news for the secretary bird. As flames clear the ground, fleeing insects and small animals become easy targets, and the bird follows the smoke, feeding on the chaos left behind. Farmers across the grasslands have long welcomed the secretary bird for another reason. By hunting rodents and venomous snakes near their fields, it quietly removes threats that could otherwise harm livestock or people, earning it a place on the national emblem of several African nations. Away from the hunting grounds, life for the secretary bird follows its own rhythm. Unlike most birds of prey, it does not nest on cliffs or in tall trees. Instead, a pair builds a wide, flat platform of sticks near the very top of a low, thorny acacia, a place safe from most ground predators. The nest can grow enormous over the years, reused and rebuilt season after season, sometimes measuring wider than the length of a grown man. Before nesting begins, a pair performs an elaborate courtship display, chasing each other in the air, calling loudly, and gliding together in slow, looping circles above the grassland. Once paired, secretary birds tend to remain together for life, returning to the same territory year after year. A female usually lays 1 to 3 eggs, and incubation is shared between both parents, each taking turns to guard the nest and search for food. After about 6 weeks, the chicks hatch, covered in soft gray down, completely dependent on their parents for warmth and food. For the first days of life, the adults tear each meal into small pieces before offering it to the chicks, feeding them snake meat, insects, and small rodents brought back from the hunting ground. Even inside the nest, danger is never far away. Eagles and other large raptors will readily take an unguarded chick, so one parent almost always remains close by while the other hunts. The chicks grow quickly, and within a few months their legs begin to lengthen, a clear sign of the hunters they will one day become. Learning to walk on those long legs takes practice, and early attempts often end in an awkward stumble. But little by little, balance improves, and the young birds begin to test their strength with short, clumsy kicks at sticks and stones scattered near the nest. Amasa, play becomes practice, and practice becomes skill, sharpened a little more with every passing week. By the time they are ready to leave, they have already begun to master the very weapon that will keep them alive on the open grassland. Amasa. One by one, the young birds leave the nest and begin their own solitary search for territory. Each will spend most of its life walking, not flying, covering vast distances across the African plains in search of the next meal. Life on the open grassland is rarely easy, even for a hunter as skilled as this one. Drought can empty the land of prey for weeks at a time, forcing the bird to travel even farther in search of food. Grassland lost to farming and development also shrinks the space this species depends on, making every remaining stretch of wild savanna more valuable than ever. Not every hunt ends so quickly. Later that same day, the bird crosses paths with a much larger threat, a black-necked cobra resting beneath a low bush. This time, the snake does not wait to be found. It rises up, spreading its hood wide, hissing a clear warning to stay away. The bird slows, wings half raised, judging the distance carefully. A cobra of this size can spit venom several feet through the air, aiming for the eyes. The bird circles wide, using its wings to block its face, refusing to give the snake a clear shot. Patience becomes its greatest weapon. For several long minutes, neither animal moves closer, each waiting for the other to make a mistake. Then, in a single instant, the bird darts in from an angle, faster than the cobra can turn, and drives one powerful kick down onto the back of its neck. The cobra collapses, and the fight is over before it truly began. Encounters like this one show why so few animals choose to challenge a secretary bird twice. Even lions and hyenas tend to leave adult birds alone, and the greatest danger they face is not from claws or fangs, but from the slow disappearance of open grassland itself. Secretary birds range across a vast stretch of the continent, from the dry grassland south of the Sahara all the way down to the plains of South Africa. Within that huge range, no two birds share quite the same hunting ground, since each pair defends a territory that can stretch across many square miles of open country. 5. Local farmers often recognize a resident pair on site, and some communities have protected their nesting trees for generations, aware of the quiet service these birds provide. Conservation groups now track secretary bird populations closely, since numbers have fallen in parts of their range where grassland has been converted to farmland or cut through by new roads. Protecting a single pair often means protecting the entire stretch of savanna they depend on, along with everything else that lives there. In that sense, this walking hunter has become a symbol of a healthy grassland, a sign that the wider ecosystem is still intact. In the African savanna, speed and precision decide everything. For the secretary bird, survival was never about flying the highest. It was about learning to strike faster than anything that dared to bite back.